आनन्दलीलामयविग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्यैच्छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Yesterday, we saw a very, very beautiful. We started with this chapter, the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and we discussed many, many beautiful points. So, yesterday, we were seeing, um, yes, so this point, why would the goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi, who is the constant companion of Lord Narayan, give up the association of Lord Narayan and engage herself in penance to gain the association of Lord Krishna? Now, here, if somebody thinks that Lord Narayan and Lord Krishna are different, then that is offense to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, because they are non-different. The same Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna himself expands or uh, expands himself as Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and Sri Narayan is expansion of Lord Vishnu. They are non-different, but as far as the qualities, that is the rasa, the moods, the pastimes that is exhibited by Lord Narayan and those exhibited by Lord Krishna, they are different. And Mother Lakshmi, she is the eternal consort of Lord Narayan. That means in Dwarka, Mother Lakshmi, Rukmini Devi, she's the wife of Krishna. So she's why. So it is not that Lord Narayan is different and Lord Krishna is different. They are both the husband of Mother Lakshmi. And Mother Lakshmi, she's a very chaste woman. She's a very chaste woman. And therefore, when she tries to enter the Ras dance, the Ras Mandali of Lord Krishna, she's not allowed to enter. Why? Because the Ras dance is only for the Vraja Gopis who have accepted the mood of Parakya Bhav, love in uh, Parakya Ras, and that is the Ujjwala Ras. So Lord Krishna, who is the husband of Mother Lakshmi, and Lord Narayan, is also immensely beautiful. All the features are there. Yet, Mother Lakshmi also gets attracted to the form of Lord Krishna. And to attain Lord Krishna, Mother Lakshmi, she's doing so many penances just to get the association of Krishna in the form of that cowherd boy in Vrindavan, in Vrajdham. And where is Mother Lakshmi eternally residing with Lord Narayan? In the Vaikuntha planets. The Vaikuntha planets, above the Vaikuntha planets is the Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna is residing in his eternal form, in his original form, with his eternal associates, with all the Vrajvasis. So, Mother Lakshmi wanted to enter into that pastime, and therefore she was doing the penances to get association of Krishna. That is the super excellent beauty of Krishna, that even Mother Lakshmi, who is eternal consort of Lord Narayan, who is Krishna only, but even then she is so attracted to Krishna that she is ready to go through all the penances and austerities that are required in order to get Krishna's association. That is the super excellent beauty of Lord Krishna, the everlasting mine of all beauty. It is from that beauty that all the other beautiful things emanate. So, our meditation should be, whenever we see anything beautiful, immediately it should remind us of Krishna, that, oh, This beauty is emanating from the original source, Krishna. Krishna is the original source. That is how we can Satatam kirtayanto mam, no, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, mam eveshyasi yuktavaivam. Uh, no, which verse is this? Where always think of me. Yes, manmana bhava madbhakto. This is how you can always think of Krishna. That whenever you see anything beautiful, sometimes we say, oh, this nature is so beautiful, the weather is so beautiful, the sky is looking so beautiful, oh, this person is so beautiful. Immediately it should remind us of Krishna. We should not get stuck there. The flower is so beautiful. We should not get stuck on that. That should immediately remind us that the source is Krishna. And we should think, if this particular thing or this particular person is so beautiful, then how beautiful is Lord Krishna? More than million million times raised to the power infinity. That is the beauty of Krishna. The attitude of the gopis, the Vraja gopis, is like a mirror upon which the reflection of Krishna's beauty develops at every moment. Both Krishna and the gopis increase their transcendental beauty at every moment, and there is always transcendental competition between them. The Vraja gopis, when they look at the beauty of Krishna, they get so mesmerized, they become so ecstatic that out of the transcendental ecstasy and love that is generated in their heart, they look even more beautiful. And looking at the beauty of the gopis, actually, Krishna is not attracted by any external beauty. Even for the gopis, Krishna is never attracted to the external beauty. But it is the bhav or the mood of service of the gopis that attracts Krishna. And it is applicable to even the devotees of Krishna, even in this material world. It is the bhav, it is the seva bhav. When we try to engage ourselves in loving devotional service of the Lord, when we cook lovingly for Krishna, when we are cooking, when we think that Krishna, I'm cooking for you, this is nothing. This is most insignificant as compared to what you are already getting in your Golok Dham. I know this is nowhere close to that. But Krishna, from my insignificant position, I am cooking with all the love that is possible, with all the devotion that is possible. I'm cooking only for you. If you don't eat it, I don't have anywhere to go. So I'm begging at your lotus feet. Please accept it. When you cook with so much love, Krishna will come and eat it. Not just accept, Krishna will eat it. And then when you taste that prasad, you will realize the taste is not of this material world. It is transcendental. When you are dressing Krishna, if you think that Krishna, what is my capacity to dress you? By causeless mercy, my spiritual master is engaging me in this service, and therefore I'm doing this service. Please accept it. And then you will see, you will feel a different kind of attraction for your deities. You will find a different kind of attraction for constantly in your mind that the deities, the deities will keep coming in your mind, that whatever, no matter what you are doing, suddenly you will, the picture of your deities will come in your mind, and you will think, oh, they are looking so beautiful, oh, they are looking so attractive. That is by the causeless mercy of our spiritual master, because they have given us the opportunity, because they have given us this seed, this desire to do this devotional service. Therefore, we are able to engage ourselves. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, it is not possible. It is not possible. So therefore, if even little bit, feel, if even that little attraction has come, or that little desire has come, that okay, I want to chant the name of Krishna, I want to hear about Krishna, I want to sing kirtan, or I want to hear kirtan, or I want to cook for Krishna, or I want to offer a tulsi leaf to the picture I have in my altar of Krishna, that means you have been specially favored by Krishna, and the manifestation, the representative of Krishna, that is the bona fide spiritual master. Without that, it is not possible. So, attitude of the gopis is like a mirror upon which the reflection of Krishna's beauty develops at every moment. And Krishna and gopis, they're constantly in competition. When the gopis are serving Krishna, Krishna is becoming ecstatic, and therefore his beauty is increasing further. When his beauty is increasing further, the gopis are even more ecstatic and their beauty is increasing. And this goes on and on and on. So the competition never ends, and they're always in ecstasy, ecstatic love for each other. And both of them want to serve each other. The Krishna wants to serve gopis by giving them pleasure. The gopis want to serve Krishna by giving him pleasure. And this competition goes on. So this is our spiritual world. No one can appreciate the beauty of Krishna by properly discharging his occupational duty or by undergoing austerities, practicing mystic yoga, cultivating knowledge, or offering various kinds of prayers. So, what is Mahaprabhu saying here? No one can appreciate the beauty of Krishna. If somebody says that, these days it is a very common thing, since childhood I've heard this, तू कर्म कर फल की चिंता मत कर, तू ये कर तो तुझे वो मिलेगा, वो कर तो वैसा मिलेगा, something of that sort. So all that is not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has never said these kinds of words. These are not words of Bhagavad Gita, or these are not words of Krishna. Here Mahaprabhu is saying that just if somebody is doing their occupational duties very nicely, they are doing everything very, very without any duplicity, they are going to their office, working nicely, earning properly in righteous ways, just to serve their family, taking care of the family, doing lot of austerities. They are practicing some kind of mystic yoga, to do mysticism. Like there are many babajis these days. Previously also, when they would just sit in meditation, and suddenly, they would cough out some laddu and they would give us prasad, or they would cough out some apple and they will give us prasad, or orange and give us prasad. There was a babaji who used to cough out shivaling, okay, shivaling deities from the mouth and would give us prasad. So this is all mystic yoga. All this does not attract Krishna. Krishna does not even care, because he is the source of all mysticism. And all this is just magic show. This is all nonsense. To attract a person and to claim oneself as God is the greatest offense one can commit to Krishna, because they are envious of Krishna. They are trying to compete with Krishna, and therefore Krishna rejects such persons. So just by practicing some mystic yoga, by cultivating knowledge that, oh, I'm very well read, I can read all the scriptures myself. Why do I need some middlemen? There was a movie also on this. I don't remember the name, but there was a movie where they showed that why are these middlemen required? If you love God, you can love God in your own way. No, my dear friends. If that was the case, then for mundane knowledge also, we need a guide. If somebody wants to become a lawyer, a doctor, there is a particular system for it. Then how can somebody think that for the highest knowledge you can just bypass all the system and you can do as you like, go as you like? It's not a fancy dress competition. It is not like that. So just by cultivating knowledge, somebody has gained lot of knowledge and thinks that now I will understand Krishna, because now I have all the knowledge, I have read all the scriptures, I know everything. So now when I look at the deity of Krishna, I will understand everything about Krishna. If somebody thinks like that, sadly, he's the greatest fool. And even by offering various kinds of prayers also, we may be offering various kinds of prayers, but it is not possible to really understand, appreciate the beauty of Krishna. Then, how is it possible? Only those who are on the transcendental platform of love of God, who engage in devotional service only out of love, can appreciate the transcendental beauty of Krishna. So there are steps, just like if we want to go from ground floor to the first floor by staircase, you cannot just suddenly jump 20 staircases and reach the first floor. You have to climb one step at a time and go to the first floor. Similarly, there are 9 steps to go to this platform of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. The first step is Shraddha. One needs to have faith. Shraddha is the currency that one needs in order to. Now, suppose um, there is a competition, and to qualify in that competition, if somebody has 1 rupee coin, if somebody gives 1 rupee coin, you are eligible to enter the competition, or you are eligible to enter that fun fair or whatever. So similarly, to enter into this process of Krishna bhakti, one needs this currency, and that currency is faith. What kind of faith? Faith in the words of Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. What does that mean? That means that one needs to have faith in Bhagavad Gita. If somebody says that, अरे this Bhagavad Gita पता भी नहीं किसने लिखा है, कब लिखा है, अरे all this is mythology यार, तुम आज के दिन में you are in the 21st century and अभी भी ऐसे बेवकूफों की तरह इन चीजों में विश्वास करते हो. When somebody says this, we should understand that such a person is envious of Krishna. And for them, they will never be able to enter into this arena. Unless some Vaishnav mercifully prays for them, or unknowingly or knowingly, if they serve a pure devotee, then they get qualified to enter into that arena. Otherwise, for millions of lifetimes, lifetime after lifetime, this cycle will go on. But they cannot enter into this process. It's very difficult. So, first thing is faith. One has to have faith in the words of Krishna. One needs to have faith in the words of those people who are following, sincerely following the instructions of Krishna. And one needs to have faith in the bona fide spiritual master. So, by doing that, when somebody has faith, then the next step is sadhu sangha. When one has faith that no, these things are true, God is there, God is there. That basic, first, God is there, and I want to understand who is God. That innocence is there. Then they will start doing sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means what? Devotee association. Abhi, if you say, if you meet, if you have your friends and your family and relatives and everyone around, you go and tell them that, can you give half an hour? We have some Krishna Katha going on. 70% people will say that, I don't have time, but I really want to, but mere paas time nahi hai, I don't have that time. But next moment you will see them, they have lot of time for doing prajalpa. फालतू की बात है, ठीक है? They will stand in the balcony or somewhere speaking to someone. अरे what is going on? अरे पता है हम लोग तो वो शिमला घूमने जा रहे हैं, this that. So they have all the time to do all that. But 15 minutes Krishna Katha, they don't have time. So sadhu sangha is not possible. But when somebody has faith, when somebody is innocent, that innocence is there in the heart, then they will develop the desire that, okay, I want to hear from the devotees. I want to have association of the devotees. So sadhu sangha. From sadhu sangha, what happens is that sadhus or the devotees will, in that association of devotees, sincere devotees, there are devotees are also in different platforms, but sincere devotees, what will happen? They will lead you to bona fide spiritual master. From there we get the information कि अच्छा ऐसा कुछ भी होता है. There is guru parampara, there is spiritual master, and then there is bona fide spiritual master. मतलब fake spiritual masters भी होते हैं. So all this information comes from where? When we start doing sadhu sangha. So what happens is bhajan kriya starts. What is bhajan kriya? When we first start taking the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that is bhajan kriya. Bhajan kriya is started. So we are starting to take Harinam, then we start to develop our interest and taste for Krishna Prasad, and then we start developing taste for, let's go to the temple, let's listen to some kirtan, let's listen to some Hari Katha, let's dance in the kirtan. Okay, all these things. So bhajan kriya. When somebody starts doing bhajan, then what happens? Anartha nivritti. Nivritti means to get retirement. Anartha means all the bad qualities that are there in us. From our millions of past lifetimes, we are carrying this baggage. the conditionings, the impressions of all the wrongdoings, because of which our anger, uh, sh- our lust, greed, jealousy, different kinds of problems are there. We don't know, we don't have right etiquettes sometimes, how to behave in front of a Vaishnav, or how to deal with different people. All these things are our past conditioning. So anartha nivritti starts. So all these anarthas, they start vanishing one by one. It's a gradual process. It is not कि एक दिन श्रद्धा हुआ, दूसरे दिन भजन क्रिया साधु संग हुआ, तीसरे दिन भजन क्रिया. It is not like that. It is a journey. It is a lifetime process. It is a lifetime process, and this is a beautiful process, because during the journey itself, we will get so many reciprocations from the Supreme Lord, from Krishna, that we will understand that this process is working. That is the beauty. Otherwise, so many people are taking up to this process. Who is paying them? Nobody's paying them anything. But still, if you ask me also, that if somebody tells me that I will give you some billions of dollars, you leave this Krishna consciousness, I will just tell them, I am never going to leave this Krishna consciousness. You can keep these $1 billion for yourself. And in fact, I would urge you to take up this Krishna consciousness. Then one day, when you will say, I don't care for the $1 billion, I really want to continue this process because it is so tasteful. Nothing in this entire material world will give you this much pleasure, this much satisfaction that you get in this process. Why? Because Krishna is the source of all pleasure. Krishna is the source of all taste, everything. Raso vai pumsam. He's the king of all rasas. He knows how to relish the rasas. Nobody else knows that. And he's the source. Therefore, whoever takes up to this process will receive directly that from the source itself. Therefore, no matter how much people think that there is so much fun, happiness in going to the pub and dancing all night and drinking and taking some drug shots, or in watching some movie in a theater, or having a big huge luxurious house where you have an entire room, home theater, and leather seats and everything, you can recline and watch a movie in your own home. None of that. Everything combined of the whole world, and what to speak of the whole world, of the whole universe, everything combined is not even equal to one drop of the bliss, of the happiness that is there in this process. Not even one drop. So if you ask any sincere devotee, they will spit at the idea of leaving this process and going back to that material world. So there is Shraddha, then there is Sadhu Sangha, then there is Bhajan Kriya. From Bhajan Kriya happens Anartha Nivritti. When Anartha Nivritti happens, when the anarthas go away from us, then what happens is there is nishtha. Then that firm determination comes that yes, now I just want to focus on this. I don't have interest in other things. I don't care for the other outside so-called glittering, flickering happiness. That is not my interest anymore. So nishtha. Then from nishtha comes asakti. Asaktis, no, from nishtha comes ruchi. Ruchi means the taste. Then that natural taste develops, that how can I serve more? What can I do to give more pleasure to my spiritual master and to Krishna? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? That desire starts coming when there is ruchi. Then there is asakti. You have a strong attachment to Krishna. Then you cannot stop thinking about Krishna in everything. You see a flower, oh, I wish I could offer this to Krishna. You see some nice fruits, nice vegetables. Oh, I think I'll buy this. I'll offer it to Krishna. I'll buy these vegetables. I'll cook something nice and offer it to Krishna. So that attachment, constantly thinking about Krishna, 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 Krishna. How can I please Krishna? How? अरे कृष्णा को क्या अच्छा लगेगा? अरे आज मिठाई बनाओ. Should I make something sweet? Should I make kheer cham something like that? Okay, so all these things start. So asakti, there is immense attachment towards Krishna. Then from Asakti will come Bhav. Bhav means the moment you hear about the pastimes of Krishna and his devotees, or Mahaprabhu's pastimes, when Mahaprabhu, the way the devotees, the followers of Mahaprabhu, how Mahaprabhu would go and embrace Ramananda Rai. Just by listening to that, tears would start flowing from your eyes. How Krishna would go and play with the gopas. Just by listening to that, you start laughing ecstatically. You forget that you are sitting among other people. People start thinking you have become mad. Okay, sometimes you're laughing, sometimes you're crying, just by listening to the name of Krishna. That is Bhav platform. And from Bhav, the next platform is Prem, love of Godhead. So the last step of this ladder is Prem, and that transcendental platform of love of Godhead. When somebody reaches that platform, only then they can really appreciate the beauty of Krishna. Till then, whatever we are experiencing, those are just drops, simply some tiny drops. So we can imagine, if we have got little taste, then if the tiny drop is so tasty, then just imagine what the ocean is like. Okay, anybody who has got even little taste or little experience. Those who engage in devotional service only out of love, not I'm waking up in the Brahma Muhurta to chant my rounds, not because I must do it, not out of some duty, or not out of that, okay, I have vowed to my Guru Maharaj, so I must do it. No. Or I'm chanting my rounds because I have to do it. Array 16 rounds karna hai. No, not like that. But I want to, this is Krishna's name. This is Radharani and Krishna personally. Hare is Radharani. Krishna is Krishna. I'm calling out to Sri Radha and Krishna, and they are personally sitting in front of me. So that feeling is there, and we want to chant more, because when we are chanting, Radharani is smiling at me, Krishna is smiling at me, they are also feeling very happy, and then they start doing their pastimes. You guys, you start seeing their pastimes with your eyes, and then you go into ecstasy while chanting. So this is only possible when somebody is on that platform of love of Godhead. Then they can really appreciate the transcendental beauty of Krishna. Such beauty is the essence of all opulences and is appreciated only in Golok Vrindavan and nowhere else. In the form of Lord Narayan, the beauties of mercy, fame, etc. are all established by Krishna. But Krishna's gentleness and magnanimity do not exist in Narayan. They are found only in Krishna. So, Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow. We'll pause here for today. Actually, this is such a sweet topic that when we start discussing, there's so much to discuss. It's an ocean, but as Mahaprabhu himself said, that uh, that my dear Sanatan, I cannot give you the whole ocean, but I'll try to give you just one drop out of it. And from there, we are also, from that one drop, I am trying to, because I am also nowhere close to the love of Godhead, but I'm also trying to give one half a drop or one fourth or some point by reading this. So in your association, I'm able to relish this. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you who are regularly attending these sessions. And because of your association, I'm able to read and relish this. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. शिला जय पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि
हरे
बोल.
हरि बोल.
हरे हरि बोल.